see how we go this time. Yeah, I think that's looking better. You can see the numbers ticking up much faster already. Might actually work this time. Hey Travis, Kyle, Eric, Steve Burridge. Alright, yes, we are. Looks like we're actually functional. I don't know what YouTube's doing with the stream creation page, like their new studio system. Up until a few days ago, you could choose whether you wanted to have it as a scheduled stream or start immediately. But now it just sort of gives you a scheduled time and it doesn't give you the option to just start immediately unless you simply ignore the scheduled time or whatever. So I don't know what's up with that. Very frustrating. Maybe it's something to do with... Maybe it's Chrome's fault, but then again, Chrome and YouTube should be best buddies. Hey Pianov. Andy and Andy, Caroline C, and Lewis Ang. Stockholm's here. And Ed. Alright, I don't know which 1398 we've got, but we're going to pop it open. Try our luck of the draw. Okay. I need to put this camera up higher and then have an adjustable zoom on it or something. Make life easier. Oh, by the way, I finally got myself, if you do iPhone repairs, I got myself a wearer tri-wing driver, and this works really nice, much better than the other tri-wing drivers I got. Like I've got the sort of typical metal one, which is okay, but it's a bit heavy for me and causes some grief. I've got some of these super cheap, nasty, horrible things. I'll just throw these in the trash basically. And I've got a few other tri-wing ones, but the wearer one is definitely the winner. So just feels very nice to use that one now. Okay, we've got a screw missing. We've got an iPhone chip on the back there. Any other screws missing? We've obviously got the 4 feet missing, but that's not a big problem. I'll put some replacement feet on. Hey Ahmed, Greg, it's quite late evening for me, 11 PM. I perhaps should not be working this late, but I'm just so backlogged with silly jobs, stuff that I shouldn't actually be backlogged with. I spent the better part of the day working on PC jobs, just things like data recovery, not clean room hard drive data recovery, but just simply copying people's data from one machine to another as they upgrade. So yeah, just stuff like that. It's chewing up all my time. Alright, hey Dragon. Ooh. So, well, it's not Toshiba drive. I really hope this isn't the VRMs. That'll be no fun at all. Okay, battery disconnected. TX6, TX4, naturally. There's my TX5. Once I get this workshop set up better, I'll be able to put all these drivers in a designated spot so that it always goes back to the one location, therefore I'll always know where to pick it out from. Okay, get their data drive out. This is what board we're dealing with here. Let's see, what do we got? 3332. Oh, well, that'll be U8900 then. Okay. Not such a bad day after all. Be nice. We can all do a U8900. Looks like Pernov lost that first bet. That's okay, he'll make up for it elsewhere. Hey, Lardis. Oh, right, yes, the formulas for the air conditioning spacings, sizes and whatnot. Alright, I'm having a brain blank here, trying to get started. Okay, so well, yeah. Wow, really, I'm having trouble here. I'm feeling kind of jittery too. It might be because I had a few too many coffees today. I think I had about 4 coffees today, which is a little more than my normal amount. Hey, Juxtapose. Rodrigo. I've had an issue with a MacBook Air pointer disappearing at random times. Comes back when you close it and open the little act. ADIT.com. Handy. Yeah, okay, you got me on that one. Can't think of anything off the top of my head. Let's get this board out of here. Disconnect. This little connector here, just on the top of the big inductor, I always forget that one. At least until now, and I didn't forget it. But under most situations, I usually forget that one. I don't know why. Get that little rubber nipple off. See ya, Andal. Okay. Crazy J just bought a late 12:30 nice. What? Late? No, I don't know which one you're talking about there. Oh, there you go. Stockholm sold. Save the day. So I don't have to do anything. I just do my work, and you guys can sort out your stuff. Hey, Bram. Man. Brain much slow today. Hey, what's going on there? Has that got a washer on it? And the microscope camera is off, so you'll have to give me a moment for that to come good again. What the hell? Oh, this is not good. You guys are going to laugh when you see this. Oh, you can see it now. What on earth? What's happened there? That certainly doesn't seem very warm and inviting. It seems more terrifying, problematic. So what on earth's happened there? Has it actually gone through the board, or is that just corrosion on the... No, it's just corrosion, but because of the patterning, I thought it was, I thought they'd taken the top layer off and exposed the tracks underneath, but it's not. Yeah, that was a trick of the eye. It was very weird. I mean, No, we don't need to take that off yet. We do need to get this camera connector out. This one's one of the more awkward ones. Hey Sonia, feel like I haven't seen you for a little while. Hope you're okay. Yep, this is a long, boring process, I know. So I really hate support people when you contact them regarding an issue with their software on 3 different computers and they tell you they can't duplicate the issue. That's because they're software developers and support people, and when we get calls for that sort of thing, the first thing we do is deny that there's a problem, send you back, make you wait around for a while, hope that you give up, or better yet, hope that you actually work out what's causing the fault, submit a bug fix so we can ignore it for the next 6 months, and then eventually when everyone loses their head and it becomes a major exploit issue, we'll immediately be able to apply the patch that we always had all along, and we'll look like heroes again. I mean, why waste a good hero moment before you need to? Ah, these flippin' things. Goodo. Hey, Giffany. Alright, so this thing's also got battery cycle issues, so that shouldn't be a problem. They'll probably just change the battery on that. Then again, changing the battery on these is pretty murderous. Hey, Chris Williams. Alright, now, aside from UA900, what I find a lot of these boards suffer is damage down here on the front edge. Often I get corroded bits and pieces by the VRAM stuff. Let's see, I am looking for a brush. Brush. I suppose this one will do. MacBook Pro Windows Alternative. I don't know. I guess if you go by certain influencer recommendations, I think it's the Lenovo X1 Carbon, which I have seen, and they do seem to be okay. Though I think your bigger problem is still Windows on that. Although I must admit, Windows 10 is finally starting to become the operating system it should have been a decade ago, I guess. But it's hard to move rapidly when you've got the level of legacy and whatnot that Microsoft has. You can't just change things willy-nilly. I'm very curious as to what this board has been exposed to, because there's all this blackened corrosion. It's almost like something caustic. Some sort of caustic atmosphere. Like at first glance you would think that they're eaten through, but they're not. They're just... And it's not hard corrosion, it just comes off very easily. Maybe it's just black mold or something. Oh, there you go. Juxtapose just said mold, yeah. Yeah, Sonia, I heard about the 16-inch just today as well. It's kind of a weird profile size. That's going to trigger a few people because it's an even number. So I'm just going over the board just to see if there's anything else that might need touching up other than U8900. Because if you're going to do it, now's the ideal time. Yeah, I've heard that they made it a tad thicker and a tad heavier and got themselves back a proper keyboard and battery life. Hopefully the whole butterfly keyboard situation will become Apple's Vista moment. I believe the designer behind the thinner and lighter type push has since retired, so maybe it is now the return of sensible design back at Apple, which will be great. Although I don't think we're gonna lose the T2 chips or anything anytime soon. That unfortunately is probably a done deal. I'm sure glad we don't have to do the VRAMs on this. Not the VRAMs, the VREGs. I've done it before. Not a great fan of it. G'day, fixing things. Fully loaded price of 6,000. Whoo, jeez. Okay, well, people are going to pay that if it does the job. I mean, that's the point in the end. Because you pay that 6,000 once, and if it lasts you 5-6 years, then it's the cost upfront fades over time. As long as it's working, whereas cheapness reminds you every day. I've got a floating hair or something on my mouth. And I dare not touch it with my fingertips because I've got flux or something on this. Anyway, open 3332. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. So has anyone out there picked up the iPhone boards and the latest Flex BV 1115? Just kind of curious if anyone's been using it. Okay, so there's our U8900. And we just have to essentially solder all around and make it happy again. We hope. Hey, Prato. Sonia, I can't imagine taking them too long to get their hands on one. Hey, Joe Sapek. Yeah, because I haven't really heard much from anyone. I mean, there was a lot of people asking about the iPhone side of Flex Boardview for a long time. And as is usually the case, the moment you do actually finally bring something out, everyone goes silent on you. It's just the way it goes. Alright. Damn it. I had a strand of solder and now I can't find it. That's annoying. Ah. Found it. Hey, Anton. I am gonna do though is, oh no, someone put the damn 6mm tip on this thing. What have I been doing? Playing with iPhones? Who would do such a thing? Ow, that's hot. Very, very hot. Doctor, no, I wouldn't say that. I'm more of like a, yeah, no, I'm nowhere up there. As much as I would love to be, but I'm not. Oh yeah, all the YouTube child things happening at the moment. Like when I just did this stream now, I had to say, is this... Yeah, I had to answer, is this stream for kids? And I'm like, no. It's kind of weird though, I'm not sure how the logic works with it. It's, yeah. Anyway, I guess that's something we'll get asked every time now. Hey, Stuart Menzies. Fixing things, you are lazy. Yes, shame on you, man. You'll never make it over to this side of the country. I am not reflowing this before people start freaking out. I'm just simply putting some heat into the board. Okay, Juxtapose, so basically saying it's for kids means effectively turn off data collection. Got it. For some reason or another, their press release made it rather confusing. This is just 250 heat. Sort of giving the board a bit of a warm up so that when I put the solder down with the soldering iron, it doesn't immediately just harden straight back up and stick. The only thing you got to watch out for when doing this, if you're using this sort of JSO2 tip, etc., is not to pick up components on the back side of it, which is something I have done in the past. It makes them run rather interesting. Hey 3X, I see you slipping in there. I know I already did this one, but I'm doing it again. It's usually this resistor here that you accidentally pick up. I'm trying to remember what the actual behavior was that let you know that you've done that. I think it was with the fan, it would just stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. Yeah, I'm not happy with these joints. Everything just feels cold for some reason. Could be the air conditioner. Hey Lonnie Gallant, welcome, thank you. Yeah, fixing things, give it a nice bit of Soothing moving. Yeah, I'm doing the top again. Yeah, sometimes you just feel like things aren't how you want them. Oh wait, that's pretty much every single job I do. Yeah, the soldering iron temperature's right. I haven't changed it. It's 380. It just doesn't quite seem to have the bite that I would expect. I'll try my usual hot air assist method. I mean, the joins are okay, but they're not brilliant, if you know what I mean. I don't want to get too much hot air on here because I'll start melting stuff that I'm not supposed to, and I'll get into trouble again like usual. Tim's going to kill me. I just melted the backside of the plastic slightly. He's going to be down on me like a ton of bricks. He's going to run over me with his new Ram truck. Yeah, that'll suffice. Now, the thing I hate most about doing these U8900s is that you've got this one area that you mess up, and you feel a little bit obliged to actually have to ultrasonic the whole damn thing. But I don't like ultrasonic boards that don't need it. I mean, theoretically ultrasonicking shouldn't do any substantial damage. But, oh man, get some heat back into that, make that flux less stringy. Plus I have a little bit of apprehension about my flux. I think I don't know, it just doesn't feel as good as the previous tube I had. So I don't know whether Lewis sent me some flux that was actually created by someone else and not Lewis, or what. Hey, Dr. No, thank you. Thank you very much for the $5. I appreciate that. Do they come for... eDigicom, what are you looking for? Are you looking for the iPhone boards? Because if you are, go to the Flex Boardview page, or the website, and then right at the top you'll see it gives you a link to what you're looking for. Oh man, I'm gonna have to... Dragon, thank you. Oh, what's RSD? Okay, I don't know. What's RSD? Reserve solenoid device. Residual something something. I think I'm going to be doomed to have to ultrasonic this damn thing. That's going to really tick me off. Really tick me off. Even though it's only... Well, even though you think it's only alcohol that's spreading across the board, it's not. It's alcohol plus the dissolved flux. And so it's basically spreads a very thin layer of slightly sticky gunk everywhere, and it takes a hell of a lot to get it to come off. which is why ultrasonic, of course, is the preferred go-to solution. But I'm really trying to cheat my way out of this again. I'll probably change my mind in the morning, I can tell you that now. Those joins look suckful. See, there's ink. No, that's just terrible. That's terrible. That's worse than Apple. Alright. Let's see. Okay. Push it up a little. Yeah, that's really bad. Something like a KU tip would be the better option here. But I'm a little on the lazy side. And I don't have a KU tip. Alright, they look better now. Oh yeah, the pro points are going to get tinned. Like I said, unless you've got something like a KU or a blade or ed tip, then it's inevitable that they will get tinned as well. It's just the way it goes. Gathering the strength here to replace the RAM on an iPhone SE. Is that, well, under normal circumstances I would not have thought that to be an economical option, but obviously it is something that you're choosing to do over there. I mean, the SE is a nice enough compact phone, but I still didn't think it would be economically viable to do that. I'm sure you can get a replacement mainboard off AliExpress or something cheap enough. What got me into board repair? Well, yeah, necessity? No. Originally I was always more into design and manufacture, but because that market dried up on me, I then jumped back to my really old habits, which is IT work, and through that eventually someone came up to me with a MacBook A1398 and asked me to try to fix it up, and it had the classic one wire issue, and I suppose that's kind of where things really got kick-started, at least with the MacBooks. I gotta admit, with the PCs, I was already doing PC laptop repairs, like on Dells and things like that. But yeah, when the person bought me the A1278, that's what pushed me into the MacBooks, and then I ran into Lewis, and yeah, and that's when hell really went to hand. Yeah, everything went to everything went to hell in a handbasket, as they say. It's all Lewis's fault. Let's see. Now again, test and see if this actually does now sustain itself. All the unwanted dust bunnies out of there. Do you ever solve your electrostatic circulation heat issues? Damn it. I can't remember what they were now. I feel dumb. All in a handbasket, yeah. So sometimes your brain gets there first, which stops you from remembering how you're supposed to say it. Oh, I really hate putting these boards back down. The 3332s were one of the well, after the 1278 one-wire issues, the 3332s were one of the first boards I started getting more often, and pretty much every single time I just hate putting them back down, because you've got to constantly fight with all these annoying little doodads up the top here, and then you get one down and you forget the other, and then you get the other, and the person the other month had the right idea, just using Captain tape to hold back various things, make it easier. What we're going to do with this is we're going to let's see, you're going to hold in there okay? Yeah. We're going to boot my little High Sierra external solid state drive, and we're going to run the Valley test on it and see how it copes. So we don't have to put the hard drive back in. Nick, with those cheap tips, from what I understand, they basically just burn out very quickly. Whereas I've had that, well, I haven't had to replace any of my tips yet other than physically broken ones, due to me sort of doing things I shouldn't with the tips. Whereas as far as I understand, a lot of the Chinese ones, just within a month or so, they're burned out. So you are getting mostly what you pay for. Anton, the cruel thing about so many people on this planet, invariably someone else has also thought of the same idea. I think that's a key thing to remember. If you have an idea, it's some fancy new marketing thing or some new product, then the race is on, because 99% likely someone else on the other side of the planet, maybe next door even, has also thought of that same idea, and they're about to start embarking on putting it into market. So it's up to you to get there first. So don't go whinging that someone stole your idea when really what it was is people came up for independently and you just sucked and didn't get it out first. And Nick Basie. Yeah, that's right, Dragon. That's the thing with the MacBooks. Yeah, for as much as people bash them and everything else like that, you can't beat the fact that there is a vastly more consistent and better information for them than pretty much every other type of laptop out there. Part of that comes from the fact, of course, that there's a very reduced range of MacBooks and iPhones, whereas with other products like Androids and PCs, they've got 30 different variants every year just from the one type, and it gets too much. You can't keep up. There's no data, or the data you do get is a little bit inconsistent to what you actually have on hand. So it really doesn't work out so well. So yeah, after you get used to having all these things for the iPhones and the Macs, you go back to trying to work on a PC and everyone's like, oh, well, can't get that. So who is it? I think it's Asus, or I think it's Asus, but you don't get a schematic and a board view, you just get a repair guide, and all it is just a very poorly taken photo of the board and very poorly defined points where you measure voltages and things like that, and that's all you get. And it's pointless, useless. Yeah, Nick, stick with the genuines. You'll regret it, I think, otherwise. I mean, hey, go ahead and get a couple of the fakes and see how it goes, but I think you'll find that it's a little too costly on your soul. It's I've got to take this drive out because this is the one that I need. This is just another machine I've been testing all day. Shut down. Anyone bought Flex Boardview in Beirut yet? I don't know, to be honest. I don't generally sort of investigate too deeply where my licenses are being dispatched to, particularly too because I only take the email address and that's it. I don't. Although I suppose that PayPal would actually be sending me the delivery address of the jobs. Let's see. Okay, first thing I need to check is that this actually does behave properly and that we didn't botch up something. Yeah. Yeah, I just realised I'm kind of scared now because I didn't check because I was too busy talking to all you folk. I did not check to see that all those pins were not shorted. Because if you... I'm going to have to take the board out. If you short the pins on the U8900 and Murphy is deciding to have a good day with you, you basically kill the laptop. Kill the board, rather. So you really don't want to take the risk. So okay, it's going to cost me 10 minutes of work here, but then it might save me a hell of a lot of money. Yeah, I don't want to have to buy another 3332 for someone. So yep, that was my own dumb fault. Too busy yabbering away. It's just not worth the risk. I mean, some people would take the risk, fair enough, that's their choice. As long as you're willing to accept the consequences when things go wrong, just as much as you accept technically the consequences when things go right. You can't have it both ways. What chips are the hardest to find for replacement? Varies model to model. If you get the donor boards, then that's no real problem at all. I think currently the one that everybody wants is the ISL 9240, I think it is. Without that, a lot of the newer boards, we're just sort of, if it dies, we're dead in the water, we can't do anything. People watching are going to be like, what's he doing? Didn't he just fix that? Why is he putting that back in? Because he was a dum-dum and didn't verify his work before he put it back in. Oh well, more practice. Again. Okay, what are you snared with? Nothing. Okay, here we go, crotch cam. Okay, no short. No short. No short. And no short. Alright, we're clear. I'll just plug this into the MagSafe, see if it actually does pick up correctly. Yep, that looks good. Well, there was a slight interlude. But as you can imagine, if I had put that in and something went pop, then, well, for you guys, it would have probably meant the end of the stream very rapidly as I ran off to cry in the kitchen, or the shower, or wherever I decide to cry today. And for me, it would mean a great deal of embarrassment, having to tell the customer that I was too busy yabbering away on YouTube to take note of the work I was doing. Oh, for goodness sake. Ah, you little rat. Come on. That's it. Drive me up the wall. Okay, that's better. Yeah, Sonia, I'm the same. The JSO2 is pretty much my default, and if I need more punch, then I'll pick up something bigger. I do often contemplate just getting a whole second Hakko machine. It's a case of, on the long term, it would be fairly well and truly underutilized. The upside could be, you can say, well, if something happens to my primary one, I do have an immediate known working Hakko straight away to replace it with, so you know I'll have no downtime. So yeah, it depends on how you want to sell it to yourself. I've got brave people doing GPUs. Yeah. I do not have the equipment or the room to do that sort of thing. As it is, I can barely keep all the machines that are pending for repair in the one place. So it'd be quite tricky for me to also throw in a fancy rework station. Pardon me. How's the speed and wattage on that one, Sonia? I gotta admit, I don't really look around much at those alternatives. Only because it's like, well, yeah, sure, I think we pay about $500 Australian for the FX951 here at the moment, if you can get it on special. And yeah, everything just is nice and works about it. Does the kester or whatever, does it have things like the handle solder tip carrier that then picks up when you put it back in and shuts things down, stuff like that? More often than not, it's the small things, the small features that end up making or breaking your love for a device. Let's see. Someone has sent me a machine and it has got one of the Wi-Fi leads with a broken end on it, and I'm not really at all looking forward to that. It's like, that's nightmare material. Basically when it separates from the crimp. I've considered a few different recovery kits that you could use to rejoin things. I think one idea I was thinking of was to just simply get a short stub that is already crimped and expose the shield and the core, and then have a little circuit board that has the two traces on. So you have shield on one side, say, and then you have core on the other side. So it's only a two-line circuit board. It's a tiny little thing, only about, barely wider than the cable. Now you will get a certain degree of loss from that because your core will be outside of the sheath, the shield, but it's a small compromise to make, and it does mean you can at least repair them. I was working on that for a little bit, and well, as usual, life got in the way and I had to get on with other things. Oh jeez, what did I just not break then? Well, I mean, short to ground, that's just my point though. It's like, yeah, sure, you're gonna get your losses, you're gonna get your interference and all that, but if you can't fix it anyway and you've got a choice of doing that or replacing the whole flex, people will take that and suffer the station wave, loss of range, things like that. Most people aren't going to notice. They might have 1 bar less or something like that, but it's not going to be... I mean, technically, yeah, it sucks. Practically, not so much. I think that's a key thing to keep in mind. Alright. Like I said, I'm all for perfect technical solutions, but at the end of the day, sometimes you just gotta suck it and go with something that actually is doable right now. The hell? Not getting anything. What's going on here? Oh, there we go. Oops. Oh wow, speakers are crackly. Okay, that sounds like the speaker itself was dead, not the amplifier. Okay, George, enjoy. Short to ground, sure. I mean, you can strip it and then connect it straight onto the rosette, high rose connector, or even just take the high rose connector off, I guess. But then that leads you to other issues later on. I'd be curious to see, it might be worth actually testing to see what your losses are using that technique. Hey, Zach Brown. Yeah, late night for me. Work must be done. Wow, these things suck up 4 amps at 18 volts. Wow, that's impressive. $75 watts max on that. Okay, so it's basically the same as the Hakko. Which reminds me, I haven't actually even entered in my... Okay, whoops. Alrighty. What kind of flux do I use? Dr. No, you're gonna... right now I'm using the Lewis Rossmann NC559V2, but I'm in the good mind to try something different. It does not feel as good as the previous batch that I had. Something's off with it. it's vaporizing off too quickly, and it's not really. It goes hard. It goes crystal hard for some reason straight away after it's cooled down, whereas the old one stayed a bit gluggier. Okay, what's going on here? We've got our 30 frames per second. Let's see if we can get potato sounds. Oh yeah. Sounds like a bad Tron movie. It's got flatulence. It's just this side, I think. Alright. Well, that's doing good. 30 frames per second. It's currently sitting at 77 degrees. See how long this takes before it dies. I mean, I've got substantially degraded hearing. Okay, I shouldn't say substantially. I've got degraded hearing. But yeah, I can hear that's potatoing. Lewis is watering down the flux so he can pay for more drones, yeah. So he can shoot them with more Nerf guns. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me though if Amtech was fiddling with things a bit. Oh man. I've got like a cobweb or something. I have to put a new glove on now. Could mean a cat hair. Shot to ground, I mean, like I said, technically you're correct, and technically there will be repercussions, but it's, at the same time, I have seen some horrendously hack job solutions for for radio frequency stuff and all that, and, yeah, I mean, fine, if you lose 20 dB or something like that, then you're dead, but most of the time it's a lot less than what people worry about in the real world. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, we want to have a look at the potato speaker. Fixing things. You're a chip quick person. Oh well, you and Jessa get along fine then, don't you? I do prefer the nice gel of the Amtech. So I've got an electronics engineering question. What is this whole Epstein thing? Because I have no idea. I've seen people making videos about it. One guy, and he's pretending his plane's going to fall out of the sky, all because he shut off the engine. I don't understand. I've obviously not caught up to what's going on. Okay, so this is potato speaker. Yeah, Dennis Norris, that's precisely it. In theory it does, and in reality it does have an impact, but at the end of the day you have to look at the... Okay, quantitatively, yes, you can see the problem. Qualitatively, it's probably a magnitude or so less severe than what is envisaged. I think a lot of people sort of get a little bit too hung up sometimes on the theoretical quantitative side of things, and at the end of the day the customer just wants their stuff working. I forgot that these damn speakers need you to take the daughter board out. That's really annoying. Especially annoying because I've already rigged everything back in. Ah. Why? Including the sodden speaker. Oh, you're making my day. Just take that out. See if I can get away with this. Probably not going to be able to. And I've got full admiration for the people who do make sure that things are as good as possible, that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, sometimes a bit of barbed wire strung across a couple of trees is more than enough. I had a panic moment then, thought I hadn't unplugged the battery. Okay, oh good. Epstein owned an island where various forms of deviancy were heavily practiced. Oh, okay. Figured Bill and... One of those theory systems, is it? Okay. I'm glad I'm not involved in that at all. Oh, and I got myself a T8 Wero now too. But I don't think it's gonna... Oh, it did. Huh. I was worried there wouldn't be enough diameter on the handle for me to get the torque required to actually get these hinge screws out. But there is. Just. All this just to get the flippin' speaker out. Blimey heck. Hi, g'day Paul, welcome. How's it going there? You been getting much sleep lately, or is your back still giving you hell? Okay, do we have a hidden one under there? So, do we have hidden under door number 1? Don't... Or is it under door number 2? Or is it just magnetic at this point? Kind of feels magnetic. It'd probably help if I took the cable out. Come on, come on. Out you come. Out you come, you little rat bag. Oh man, giving me hell tonight. So we got Trump is being impeached. It's going to be a nice juicy waste of money and probably achieve nothing at the end of the day. But maybe it's the season for it. Okay, is there a screw under here? Am I going to remove this foam pad and find myself with a bunch of little white nodules, which I really hope not. I don't think it would apply on these size speakers anyway. But I think this is really more just a vibration suppression thing to stop the daughter board getting shook around. Yeah, no, that's nothing under there. And that really feels more like it's just a driver. So it must be magnetic then. We'll just wait till we hear the snap, and then we'll back up. And we'll quickly look for someone to blame. Was it just two-sided tape? So that feels like tweeter and that feels like mid-range. Well, if you can use such terms for these. Poor Eli. How is he going lately? Has he started back doing actual tech videos now? Or is he still more trying to just be a random daily coffee blog? I don't watch these people. Hell, I don't even get time to watch Dave Jones. There's nothing against the people or anything, I just don't have time. It'd be nice to be able to sit around and just catch up with everything. By the way, obviously if I break the speaker it's no issue, but I am worried, I'm a little worried I might do some damage to the chassis, which obviously we do not want. I do have, I'm fairly sure I do have my own A1398, this model. It's got a main board issue, but everything else on it is completely and utterly perfect. So I do have a fallback for my stuff ups if I have to. Okay. Always nice to have a fallback machine for your stuff ups. Yes, Dennis, we're having practice here, my good sir. What was it? It was just adhesive, that's all it was. After all that. But, yeah, better to make that exclamation go, oh, that was just adhesive, rather than, oh dear God, what have I done? I'm ruined. Oh yeah, there we go, there's our potato crackly. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, I'll explain that. Now, given that this one is suffering like that, I would say the prudent move would be to also replace the other side as well. Because you can bet your booties that the same thing's going to happen with the other one. The battery has to come out of this too, so yeah, this is going to be a fun game. Alright, well I'm going to put these back in until I have received a shipment. As a rule, I do not like to have things separated out without having the part that I want available. Because otherwise you sort of lose things, and you know, when you lose things, that's not good. Yeah, there's a headphone jack on these ones, I'm 99% sure. Right, you're making me question myself yet again. Well done, YouTube, well done. Now, let's put this hinge back. It's not magnetized yet. I think what's happened here is it's just simply deteriorated over time. And maybe the person likes playing their music loud and it fatigued the plastic. It looks like it's just a brittling that's caused it. So yeah, maybe either it's just a bit brittle or they like their music loud. Okay, so the daughter board screws went up to the top. That's the... That... What were you for? You're that... this one essentially now has to sit it out until I get replacement speakers and replacement battery. That's going to be no fun to get these out. I hate doing it. Anyone out there actually enjoy removing batteries? I do not. Okay, do ourselves a little write-up with a pen that I can't seem to find. Oh, there it is. Working with a 3437 with 2600 cycles. Wow, that's a few. Person obviously likes using it. Yeah, so well, at least we know the graphics chip's going to be fixed, so that's good. We also know the solid state drive's not going to drop dead because it's not one of those awful Samsung controller ones. So this basically now has to sit it out. Let's see if can I do this? Sit in the pending queue. Alright, and given that it's 12:30, I'm probably going to have to actually sort of finish up around about here. Am I going to rent a store for $13,000 per month and pay $150? Oh hell no, not me. Hey Vogon. Yeah, definitely not me. Get the Dremel and grind the battery out. I like the way you think. I'll do that outside. Why am I not in bed? Because I had to get some jobs done, and I'm kind of wired at the moment. Unfortunately, because of the fur kids waking me up 5 o'clock in the morning. What happens is that I sort of fall asleep in the middle of the day when I have a bit of a lull with no customers turning up. And as it is at the moment, I'm slowly trying to stop having local people send me, bring jobs to me or anything like that. I'm trying to go as much as I can to mail order jobs. The only things I do have come in locally more now, or I shouldn't say more, but that I'm not stopping iPhone replacement screens, things like that. But for things like general PC jobs and whatnot, I'm palming them off to other people now because they take up so much room in the workshop. I just don't. All this area behind me here, I'm now going to be changing over. Everything is just going to be MacBook, iPhone, electronics repair type related. Whereas before that was used as my PC bench where I would, pull apart desktops and things like that. But it's just too much room being taken up, and so I need every bit of space I can to make sure that the MacBooks and the iPhones are done as properly as possible. Anyway, but as for the kittens, so I try to get to sleep in the afternoon, which means then I'm usually wired till about 1 in the morning, which gives me about 4 hours sleep before the cats wake me up again. Yeah, don't let the second wind fool you. Yeah, exactly, yep. That's what we'll get, yeah. What tool are we talking about? So oh yeah, as I said at the start of the stream, if you do work on iPhones and you want a good quality tri-wing driver for the 7s and 8s and whatnot, Wearer's now got them. So this cost me, I think it was about $30 Australian by the time it got delivered. But I got to tell you, I used it a few times today, and it is much better than any of the other tri-wing drivers I've got. So for me, money well spent. Definitely not at all upset that I spent that money on that. Let's see. The back's still kicking you about. You're kind of doomed like this. Is there any hope for you in the future? I mean, have they got any sort of... remember the last treatment that you had? I think you had a nerve fusion or something like that. I don't know. I can't quite remember. But I'm guessing that didn't quite work out so well. Hey, Space Cookies. Inland California. Hey, Arnold. Gee, yes. Fortunately, no dingoes in here today. We do get them up on the hill around here. But they're usually mongrel type dingoes. They're not really true dingoes. They're more like dingoes and domestic dogs are bred and produces a bit of a unfortunate crossbreed. Might want to try the case. I keep wanting to say kester. $20 cheaper than the cheapest Hakko. Does not come with stand. I'll probably end up just going with another Hakko because honestly, I love the way the stand works. With a person like me, I need things that will shut down when I put them back in the stand. Because if they don't, I will burn the place down. My first ever electronics magazine contribution. This is back in it would have been in the 80s. Was a soldering iron automatic turn-off timer because I had nearly burnt my room down at least twice because I would leave. This is back with the soldering irons that you just plug into the wall, and that's all they were. Just like you had your soldering iron and 240-volt cable going off, and because of the weight of the cable and everything, they would sort of slide off your desk and land on the carpet and things like that. So yeah, my first ever contribution to a magazine submissions thing was a 555 plus relay type timer to turn off that soldering iron after about 20 minutes when it was just a one shot type thing. So when you turn it on, you press the button, it gives you 20 minutes. If you need it again, press it again. Hey Richard. I'll have a look, Sonia, but I'm probably, like I said, I'm probably just going to go with another Hakko. I mean, it's a business write-off for me. Okay, so it's $500, and that's going to hurt, but I think I'll probably still prefer it at the end. Maybe, if I get to that point. Or I might just stick with making the Hakko squeal when I pull its tip out. Let's see, so some people having trouble with the tilt switch. Oh, yeah, that's not good. Let's see, what else should I mention for? Yes, with Flex Boardview, if you have come in late, there are iPhone boards available. They're on bad caps. If you go to the Flex Boardview webpage, you will see up the top there is a link to a bad caps forum, and there are all the files there that you can gobble up. Make sure you get them before someone else, bad caps, has to stop sharing them or whatever. And they can be read by Flex Boardview, but you have to get the 1115 or the 1117 version, so it's the latest beta. And so you just gather them up, unzip them, and they should load up alright. So let's see. Yeah, Dragon, if you want to give just the FlexBV page, that will actually have the link to the to the Bad Caps forum. If you're not a member of Bad Caps, go and sign up and become a member of Bad Caps. Unlike so many of the other sites out there that have board views and schematics, Bad Caps does not charge you anything for it. It's in English if you are an English speaking person. It's really the ideal kind of site. So the more people that get on there, the more people that share stuff, the better it will be. What? Why was Vogon's stuff deleted? What? Yeah, all sorts of weird stuff. Oh, anyway. And yes, if you can buy FlexBV, I'll always be appreciative. I mean, yeah, it's $79 US. It's not the most expensive thing around. It's also not the cheapest, I realize. If you're looking for a freebie or anything, there's Open Boardview. I know it's a pain to have to manually cut, paste, and copy your search terms between the schematic and the Boardview. But hey, I mean, that's the point of Flex Boardview being commercial. If you do it for a living every day, then the $79 is a pretty cheap one-off price to pay just for saving that sort of time. And you now get to be able to read and view iPhone board views, which is always nice. Alright. I was going to say my friend sent... Whoops. Oh, okay. Yeah. Alright. Okay, that's it. I'm going to sign off. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate it. And I guess I'll see you maybe tomorrow. And certainly when I get some more speakers and batteries, we'll have a look at that one again. And hopefully it doesn't sound like a potato this time. So take care. I'll see you next time.